Hi, welcome back to Percona Live 2023. This is a little podcast we do with some very interesting folks. We have Himank and Ovais, the CTO and the CEO, respectively, of Tigris Data. You started with Tigris last year, if I remember right.
Yeah, we did one last year as well, yes.
Yeah, and for the folks who don't know Tigris, why don't you two give me the 2-minute drill, the elevator drill on what Tigris is doing and how it works.
Yeah. So Tigris is an open source document database and search platform. It's an alternative to MongoDB, and it provides a more modern alternative to MongoDB. It has a cloud native architecture, Kubernetes, and it's highly scalable. And of course, it's open source, so it's deployable everywhere that the users want to deploy it to.
Okay. And Mr. CTO, can you correct him on any bits of that? Or what do you add to it?
No, he's completely right. And the use cases that we are targeting is basically we are trying to provide a data platform where the user doesn't need to think about, I need to use this technology for database, this technology for search, or this something new fancy technology for vector search. The platform itself is providing everything, so it's consolidating the use case and simplifying the developer experience for the users.
Okay. Well, I know so many people that when 2018 hit and Mongo changed their licensing, suddenly found themselves, well, either I run the old software forever, or I find an alternative. And at the time, there weren't a lot of good alternatives out there. Document databases are very useful.
Yeah.
And there was just a niche there. And thank God you folks are coming along to fill it. So if I'm running, like an old version of Mongo and I see you folks on the horizon and you're coming to save me, you speak the Mongo wire protocol, so I can use the same tools that I've been using, like Mongo Shell, and upload my data and go happily from there. What else? What else do I need?
That's pretty much all you need. So we have really simplified the developer experience. So for example, if you are using a multi-tenant hosted environment, then there's no cluster to provision. You just get your application keys and you start using it, just like you would do any API service. And then we partnered with Feather to provide Mongo wire compatibility. So yeah, you can use the standard or official Mongo drivers and talk to Tigris that way. We also have our own SDKs where the API is similar to Mongo. It's inspired by Mongo because Mongo has a great developer experience story. But it's not Mongo wire protocol. So the users have both options, and we have seen, adoption of, our SDKs, as well as, Mongo wire compatibility in terms of our users, because what the feedback we get from users is that our APIs are even more simpler and easier to use as compared to Mongo.
Cool. And speed comparisons, is there, I know eventually you'll be much faster than what Mongo can do because just the way you're architecting things. It's kind of like a drop-in replacement. I wouldn't notice much difference in performance.
Yeah, from performance perspective, you would not notice a difference, and especially if you have larger data sets, in 10, 100 terabyte range.
Yeah.
Then you would actually see better scale from Tigris and better operations as compared to Mongo. Yeah. And especially reads are much faster because we are gRPC, so we natively support streaming all the way down to the user. So for reads, it's like very fast.
By the way, the show photographer's here. We're going to get all of us smiling. By the way, that picture is stuck in your phone. If you could unblock your outbox for me later. There we go. Cool. Let's see. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the license change really upset a lot of folks. You're open source.
Yes. So we are open source, and we also provide a hosted version. Mm-hmm. And there are two flavors of hosted version. One is where it's hosted in our VPC, and the other is where it can be hosted in users' VPC. So we make three options available. And we really believe, as I was talking in our talk about Tigris as well, that we believe in freedom to run, which is why we have these options. If the user wants to run it themselves, they're free to do that. And the users want us to run the infrastructure, we're happy to do that as well.
Okay, so if I'm running Mongo right now, there's no reason not to switch because you have all the advantages.
Yeah, you would be missing out. So yeah, I would definitely say that you should not use Mongo and switch to a better technology.
Very cool. Any other new features, stuff coming up you want to announce?
Yes. So we very recently added vector search. So, AI ML workloads have been all the craze, and we natively support vector queries and storing and processing embeddings. This is currently in alpha, and we are working on making it production ready.
Cool. Many years ago, I worked for Xerox, and one of the big problems we had is we had all these huge corpus searches that just killed us, especially when we were doing it in multiple languages. You folks now have a way to do that rather quickly, don't you?
Yes, exactly.
So cool. Wow. Well, thank you very much for dropping by, and good luck. I'll be watching you in the future, and best of luck to Tigris.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
No problem.